As you look around the sukkah, the temporary hut that Jewish people sit in for a 7-day holiday that's going to be beginning in a few days, you see the walls of the sukkah, in this case adorned with a variety of posters. Really very beautiful, and adds such a nice touch when you're sitting out here and eating. This, however, is not the most important part of the sukkah. The sukkah actually the name comes from the word schach, which is something that grows from the ground that is clearly very temporary. And if you look up, you will see the sky. The whole idea of a sukkah is that it is a temporary residence. It reminds us of the Jewish experience in the desert, when the Jewish people were traveling for many years and they only had, in effect, God to protect them. And we capture that idea every year in the sukkah by putting a flimsy covering on top. Here's the idea that I'd like to share with you. When we look up at the schach, when we see this temporary covering, it reminds us that nothing in life is permanent and nothing in life is guaranteed. Everything ultimately falls under the auspices of God, and it's under His control. And if there's ever been a time where this message has resonated, it's now. This pandemic has taught us that we have no control. We don't have control over our health. Of course, we could take precautions, but we don't have real control. We don't have control over the economy. We don't have control over all of the staples of life because ultimately it's out of our hands. And on the one hand, that's a terrifying thought. On the other hand, it is such a comforting thought that if you are a believer, if you believe that there is a source of good above you that is going to care for you, that is going to ensure that all of your needs are met, and that whenever you have a challenge, it's because that challenge is there to test you and to help you grow, that is a very empowering message. If we can embrace that, if we can connect to it and say, God, we're in your hands, it's ultimately up to you. We want to do whatever we can to protect ourselves and our loved ones and take care of them, but we need your help. Capture that message, embrace it, recognize the fragility of life, the transience of life, and the beauty of life all at once. And once we commit to that level of connection, that's where the true joy of the Sukkot holiday comes into play. Wishing all of you a most beautiful, joyous Yom Tov, a Yom Tov of connection to God, Hashem, and connection to each other. And may this be the most enjoyable and joyous holiday you've ever experienced.